One of today's jobs is this digilock. We're going to record that. I'll show you how to do that. It's fairly simple, but there's a method of doing it. So at the minute it's set to 1, 2, 3, and you turn it, and we're going to change that. Right, so the first thing, you need to take these 2 screws out of here. Always keep a tight hold of the lock together, else it often just drops to bits, falls out. In fact, it's not even coming out, that one. There we go. There's that half off, plonk that on there. That sometimes comes out, but we can leave that. Seems a bit tight, but just give it a little tap. Not normally this tight. There we go. That's off. Normally that just pulls straight off. So that's a bit we're interested in there. So now we've got the lock front off. What we can see, we've got all the different tumblers in here. The red ones are the ones for the actual numbers that you press, so you can see at the minute it's 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can see those are red, and the other ones are blue. So we're going to change it to, what did we say, 783 did we say we'll do it? We'll do it to 783. So basically you want to change the tumblers about so that 7, 8 and 3 have red tumblers. Obviously 3 is already red, so that one won't need changing. So I'll show you what we need to do next. So the first thing to do, these 2 screws here, we need to take those out. Keep pressure on this plate because there's lots of little springs under there. So we undo those. And carefully let that come off. And there we go, there's all the springs. So we'll put that to one side. So now we've got all the tumblers there. So what you need is either pliers, snake nose pliers, or a pair of tweezers, and we want to withdraw these tumblers to swap them about. But what you have to do, the C button, they're all marked here as well with all the numbers. The C, your cancel or clear button, you always press that in, hold that in while you're removing tumblers. So we're going to make it, what did we say, Jack? I keep forgetting. 783. So we'll leave the 3 in, so we'll take 7 out and 8 out, and you can see the shape of those is sort of a square notch out, and also a little lump sort of thing on there that stops you from putting them in the wrong way. So the square was facing out over. So we'll take number 1, which was a red tumbler, we'll pull that out, square facing out over. So now we've got to turn that one around and drop that into 7. The 2 we'll take out, and the square notch again face to the outside, so we need to turn that around and drop it down. Then these 2 blue ones, again the square to the outside, so drop that into 2 and drop that into 1. Constantly I'm holding this C button, you can see that's pressed up until all these are in place. Once all those are in place, we can release that and then just click that down. Then we need to put that spring plate back on like so, press it down, and the 2 retaining screws in. Like so. So that's now set to 783, so we'll try that. So we'll press C just to clear everything. See, it doesn't turn. 7, 8, 3, and there we go. Simple as that. And just a case of building it back up, putting it all back on the door, and it'll all be working good as gold. Right, so now that's recorded, I'm going to fit it all back on. So the spindle needs to be held, needs to turn anti-clockwise to open the latch. So if we hold it tensioned like that, then fit it into the lock, it should be positioned correctly. Just trying to locate that pin. So we've got that in. So the next thing to try, we'll just pop the cord in and just check that. Oh, yeah. It's not turning for some reason. Just pull that out. I was putting the wrong code in, that's why. 783, wasn't it? So, right, try again. So put the code in there, so we're happy that that's working. So now we'll fit this back plate on, again making sure that that lines up correctly. So we want to angle that slightly to the left, swing it around. And again, before we put the screws in, we'll just check that that is doing how we want to do it. So we've got everything on loose, nothing lined up at the moment, so we'll just get these screws in somewhere near, just to hold everything together. Right, so when everything's sort of that position there, just double check everything moves nice and freely, and then you can start tightening these up gradually. Problem is, if you tighten them up fully and things are cockeyed, things end up snagging, so I always do it a little bit at a time. Try the cord in, check that's not sticking, and just tighten these up. You find that screw there, there we go. Just tighten these up a little bit at a time. They don't need to be ridiculously tight. And obviously just check that it latches. There you go. That's it. Easy as that.